I've reached 94 years on this earth, and there's something I need to share with you about fear and worry. I can already guess your thoughts. What could an elderly farmhand from Tennessee possibly understand about this kind of struggle? That's a reasonable doubt. Allow me to share my experience. During the cold months of 1950, I was merely 19 years of age, experiencing bone-chilling temperatures at a location known as Changjin Reservoir in North Korea. The mercury dropped to 30 degrees below freezing. Enemy forces from China attacked us in relentless succession. Death surrounded me on all sides. Bullets claimed some lives. Others simply succumbed to the cold where they collapsed. My closest companion bled to death in the frozen landscape because medical help couldn't reach him quickly enough. That's my understanding of this terrible affliction. And having conquered it, which I absolutely did, I believe my words carry weight. Upon my return in '53, I was completely shattered. Sleep came in fragments, rarely lasting beyond 2 hours before nightmares jolted me awake with screams. Sharp sounds like a vehicle's exhaust popping or a door crashing shut sent me diving for cover instinctively. Rage consumed me constantly. Alcohol became my crutch. I started confrontations without provocation. My hands trembled uncontrollably at times beyond my ability to steady them. The term PTSD didn't exist in those days. People called it shattered nerves, instructed me to toughen up, push through it, stop causing trouble. That's the path I attempted. Complete failure. Willing yourself to eliminate anxiety is as futile as commanding a wound to stop flowing. The mechanism doesn't function that way. So when someone instructs you to simply relax or cease your concerns, they're speaking from ignorance. This is the primary lesson I need you to grasp. Anxiety isn't a character flaw. It's not a switch you can flip. It's genuine and it's brutal. And those who claim otherwise have never truly experienced its grip. Now let me share my discoveries. These realizations took roughly 15 years to crystallize. Perhaps I can spare you that lengthy journey. The initial insight: your physical form retains terror. The scientific explanation eludes me, but the truth is undeniable. During anxious episodes, the sensation extends beyond mental anguish. It manifests in your upper back, your rib cage, your abdomen. Therefore, you must engage in motion. I'm not suggesting membership at some upscale fitness center. I mean labor, genuine physical exertion. During my darkest periods, the sole moments of relief occurred while toiling in the fields, exhausting myself beyond the capacity for thought. Your physical being is storing all that dread. You must provide it an outlet. Discover an activity that keeps you active. The specific choice is irrelevant. Split firewood, cultivate a plot, cover 5 miles on foot. When anxiety arrives, don't remain seated dwelling on it. Stand up and engage. Expend that energy. It won't solve everything, yet it proves more beneficial than any other method I attempted. The second discovery: you must escape the prison of self-focused thinking. Anxiety demands you concentrate on yourself, your terrors, your difficulties, your hypothetical scenarios. It resembles a canine pursuing its own appendage. The deeper you contemplate it, the more severe it becomes. Therefore, you must shatter that pattern. Perform an act of service for another person. The magnitude is insignificant. When I was severely affected, my spouse Helen would direct me to visit the folks nearby, assist with repairing a barrier, transport some poultry products. It extracted me from my internal fixation. Concern for personal troubles diminishes when you're addressing someone else's needs. Here's the most significant realization I achieved, and while this may appear straightforward, executing it presents the greatest challenge. Anxiety exists in what's yet to come. Consider it carefully. What triggers your anxious state? Possibilities that might materialize, potential disasters. Your consciousness races forward to catastrophes that remain unrealized. Yet at this precise instant you're drawing breath. You're existing. The present moment is typically acceptable. It's the contemplation of what's ahead that creates the suffering. Therefore, when anxiety strikes, I develop the habit of posing one question to myself. Does a crisis exist at this very second that requires my attention? Not in the coming days, not in the approaching week, at this exact moment. And in virtually every instance, the response is negative. The crisis exists in my thoughts, not in my reality. I'm experiencing concern over something that hasn't even manifested yet. Let me tell you something. I invested years in worrying over events that never materialized. Years. And those circumstances I failed to anticipate, those became the actual challenges. Existence will catch you off guard regardless. Worry doesn't prevent adversity from arriving. It merely prevents you from appreciating the positive experiences while they're present. Now, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't make preparations for situations. That's a separate matter. Preparation serves a purpose. Worry serves none. The distinction is clear. Preparation creates a sensation of taking action. Worry creates a sensation of being submerged in something. Here's the approach I developed. I pose the question to myself, is action available to me regarding this? If affirmative, execute it without delay. Don't waste time contemplating the action. Implement it immediately. Place the call, address the issue, initiate the discussion. Typically, executing the task consumes less time than agonizing over the task. And when the response is negative, action is beyond my control, then I must release it. I recognize that sounds difficult. It is difficult. But here's my realization. Agonizing over circumstances beyond your influence resembles attempting to alter a river's course. The river won't yield, and the effort will deplete you. I witnessed soldiers perish at Changjin, noble soldiers superior to myself. Nothing was within my power to prevent it at that time, and nothing exists within my power to alter it presently. I can pay tribute to them. I can preserve their memory, but I cannot reverse it. Bearing that burden, that anguish for 5 decades didn't benefit them, and it almost destroyed me. Let me share 2 additional strategies that aided my recovery. The first involves belief. Now, I won't deliver a sermon, that's not my nature. But I'll share that having faith in something greater than my individual self provided me a repository for all that terror. The weight exceeded my capacity alone. I required assistance. In my case, that assistance originated from the divine. In your situation, it could be another source. But you must identify something transcending yourself for support, because attempting to shoulder all that burden independently will destroy you. The second strategy involves establishing patterns. I rise at 5 each dawn. This practice has continued for 7 decades. My activities upon waking are predetermined. I understand the sequence that follows. When your thoughts are in turmoil, established patterns provide stability. Thinking becomes unnecessary. You simply proceed. and that eliminates one opportunity for anxiety to establish control. I've reached 94 years. The time I've lived exceeds what most individuals receive entirely, and I'm assuring you the anxiety does improve. Not due to existence becoming simpler, it doesn't, but due to your increasing resilience. You discover what functions for your circumstances. You construct an existence capable of supporting the burden. I won't deceive you by claiming the terror vanishes entirely. Nights still occur where I awaken in that frozen landscape back at Changjin. Old injuries still throb when atmospheric conditions shift. And I'm not referring solely to the visible marks, but it no longer controls my existence. I maintain control, and reaching this point required considerable time, but I arrived. So here's the message I need you to receive, particularly if you're in your youth and facing struggles. It improves. I understand that resembles empty reassurance people offer, but I've lived 94 years. I observed soldiers fall. I returned home damaged. And I discovered tranquility, genuine tranquility, the variety that doesn't require favorable circumstances. You're going to survive, not because existence is guaranteed to be favorable. It possibly won't be, but because your strength exceeds your perception. I understand you're skeptical of that presently. I harbored the same skepticism, but it's truth. You simply require time to demonstrate it to yourself. Step outdoors, move your body, escape your mental confines. The struggle will remain upon your return, but its intensity might have diminished. And that's the method of conquest, not in a single moment, just slightly reduced each day until you've reclaimed authority. That concludes my message. I hope it provides value to someone.